Test, 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 test.
Good evening, everybody, and stay tuned for Dayton Flyers hockey. It is the first game of the 2021-22 season for the Dayton Flyers. Of course, last season the Flyers did not play. My name is Kent Jacobs, and we appreciate you joining us from the Kettering Ice Arena. The last time we met was February of 2019, when the Dayton Flyers came back on the Ohio State Buckeyes and won in overtime, and that was a thriller. And of course, last season's ACHA season was canceled due to the pandemic, so the Flyers did not play. And the first action was supposed to be last night at Akron, but that game was canceled because of some of the travel paperwork was not filled out, and so due to some type of paperwork snafu, the Flyers were not permitted to travel up to Akron yesterday evening. So tonight, in fact, then is the opening night for the Flyers for the season. Dayton, of course, is a club program, which is essentially a form of intramural, not a varsity program. They play in the ACHA, the American Collegiate Hockey Association, which is the NCAA, if you will, of college club hockey. And within the ACHA, the Flyers play in the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League, which is their conference within the ACHA. Dayton is at level 2, Division 2 in the ACHA. We're just moments away from the start of the game tonight. The Flyers will be in their home white sweaters with the traditional Columbia blue and red trim and the red trunks. Meanwhile, the Akron Zips are in their black uniforms with, what would you call that, like a tan trim color? The Zips mascot is a kangaroo, and the Flyers mascot is Rudy Flyer, the aviator. So who will the kangaroo or the aviator come out on top tonight? Starting goaltenders for tonight's contest for visiting Akron will be Chase Johnson. And for the Dayton Flyers, Jamie Jurczyk. Jurczyk spelled D-Z-U-R-C-I-A-C-K, if I have that spelled correctly. We are also very pleased to be back at the Kettering Ice Arena, which of course was closed down for most of last year. And it's nice to have a few fans in the stands. Not a full house, but we definitely have probably, I'd say, about 40 to 50% capacity in the bleachers that surround the rink here at the Kettering Ice Arena. We will be playing 20-minute periods. The Flyers now will take the ice. The referees for this evening's contest: Eric Schreiner, Greg Sine, and Ernie DiMuccio. The Flyers are coached by Tony Morris in his 3rd season. The Akron Zips by Matt Cook in his 10th season with the Zips. Flyers will be moving from right to left in this first period. Chase Johnson will occupy the goal crease to our left for Akron. Jamie Jurgic will be to our right. Puck is dropped and the 2021-22 season is underway. Flyers picking it up at center. Trevor Barola will drop it back in his own end. Puck off a stick, played by Pudzik for Akron. He dumps behind the Dayton net. Barola around to check to center. He'll dump it in on net. It's the save by Chase Johnson. On the puck from center. There's a shot right on. Pad save by Johnson with the stick of Nick Trageser of Dayton. 38 seconds in, and the teams will have a line change with the stoppage of play. Kevin Bora takes the draw for Dayton. Bora back for Hushcroft. Hushcroft unable to hold it in, but there's a delayed penalty. And as the puck is picked up by Dayton's Rocky Phillips, and it looks like it will be Charlie Hushcroft who heads off for checking from behind. So that's a tough break for the Flyers, just 55 seconds into the game to give the Zips the game's first power play. Zach McCarron takes the face-off for Akron against Dayton's Kevin Bora, as they wait for the penalty to be posted on the scoreboard. Well, it is nice to be back in action for the Flyers after having to sit out all of last season. Face off right wing circle of the Dayton zone. The puck is cleared down the ice. And it's on goal. It's played by Johnson. He'll set it up for teammate Jordan Campbell. Campbell headmans to center for McCarron. McCarron over the line. Poke checked away. Flyers clear down the ice. Johnson way out of the net to shoot back to the Dayton blue line. It's off a stick, kicking behind the Flyer net. Back for UD, Aiden Ward. Ward will clear it down. Again, on goal, played by Johnson. 1:20 left in the Akron power play. 18:20 left in the scoreless first period. Now another penalty. And we've got, let's see who heads off. And that will be another Dayton penalty for a charge. And that's Aiden Ward. So the Flyers playing aggressively to start this game. They have a jump in their step. However, a couple of penalties based on a little bit of over-aggression, checking from behind and charging, has given the Zips a 5-on-3 man advantage. Zips looking to set up a 5-on-3 power play. Centering pass, spinning, shooting, and wide of the mark is Akron's Cam Wilson. Wilson left wing circle, top of the slot, boom, a shot. And It's up over the glass, and we'll have a face-off. .48 seconds left in the original penalty, the two-man power play. Flyers able to clear down the ice. Johnson will set it up for Cam Wilson. Cam Wilson for the Zips. Crossing center. Wilson into the Dayton zone. Centering, it's off a stick to the left wing boards. Held in, now Wilson waits. Wilson shot, tip wide. Another shot is off a stick to the corner. There's another centering pass right in front of the goal crease for the Zips. Cam Wilson shot, pad save for Jamie Jurczyk. The first penalty is killed off and the puck is cleared away. Johnson out of the net as he beats the Flyer player back on the ice from out of the penalty box. Now the Flyers trying to come back. Short-handed shot, pad save. Chase Johnson. Zip still on a power play, but here's Will Musial for Dayton. Musial check from behind. Loose puck in the corner. Now behind the net of the Akron zone. Just 15 seconds left in the Zip power play. Puck flipped high off the roof by Akron's Christian Finley. Now just 10 seconds left in the Akron power play. Well, the Flyers put themselves in a precarious position early in this one, giving the Zips a two-man power play. But they are on the verge of killing that off. There's a centering pass held in. Now a good hip check by the Zips, Evan Acino. Loose puck along the right wing boards. Now centering pass, tip right in front. Johnson down, and he covers the puck. As a couple of Flyers were ready there to try to cram in a rebound, but Chase Johnson, he's been busy here in the first 4 minutes of the game. A nice body check by the Zips Acino. Back come the Zips the other way, and a nice check by Pompeia of Dayton. Flyers trying to come back. A pass up ahead was broken up. 15 and a half minutes to play, opening period, no score. Flyers trying to come in, but then there's a nice backhand pass out of the zone by Evan Acino of Akron. Flyers trying to attack the other way, but there are two players collide. Loose puck for Dayton. It's cleared away. Play is fast and furious in this first period. Here come the Flyers. McClimus dumps it in. Flyers change on the fly. Zips trying to come back. Puck poke checked away. Back for the Dayton Flyers is Moises Palacios, who clears in behind the Akron net. Flyers trying to set something up. Palacios drops it to the right wing boards for teammate Ward, but back come the Zips the other way. Here come the Zips. Thomas trying to center for a tip, and it's broken up. Flyers trying to come back, but a pass intercepted. Boy, both teams are flying around the ice in this first period. You'd think they hadn't played for a year. For Dayton, Rocky Phillips. Pass over on the left wing for Nick Pragasser. Back to Phillips. Phillips flips it high to the zip line, and there's a whistle. Puck knocked down with a high stick, and we'll have a face-off back in the Akron zone. 13 minutes, 40 seconds left in period number 1. No score. For Dayton, Kevin Bishop takes the face-off against the Zips. Flyers have to retreat back in their own end. Puck flipped high off the stick to the red line. Shot back into the Akron zone. Back for the Zips. Brandon Bohm. Bohm lost it. Puck centered. Broken up into the corner. Loose puck right in front of the Zip net, but an Akron defender clears it out. Now the Flyers dump back in offside. They have to retreat. Here come the Flyers trying to stick handle through 3 defenders. Was Trevor Barola, but finally he's knocked down to the ice. Back come the Zips. A shot! And it's off the crossbar. Doran Orton. Now back come the Flyers. 2-on-1. Center. Oh! It's off the stick of Spencer DeLeo. Now another shot. Pad save for Johnson, and the rebound is chipped up over the glass. A big chance for the Flyers. 2-on-1 a moment ago. Spencer DeLeo almost tipping it in, but as he tried to get a backhand tip on it, it skipped over his stick blade, and he was unable to put the puck on net. From the face-off, Palacios drops it into the corner for Dayton. Martins for Dayton. Lost it. Zips trying to come back. No score. We've got 12:20 to play first period. The visiting Akron Zips in the black uniforms control the puck at center ice. Now a giveaway. Here comes Dayton with the Flyers. Kevin Bishop shot! And it skips off the glove of Chase Johnson. Zips trying to clear their own zone. And they do. Kicked ahead by Jake Lubick. Lubick for Akron. He's checked into the boards by Dayton's Rocky Phillips. Puck fought for. There's a centering pass. Shot. Stick save for Georgic. Long shot from the right point is high off the glass behind the net. For the Flyers, Aiden Ward. Here comes Aiden Ward for Dayton over the zip line. Dumps behind the Akron net. For the Flyers, Liam McClemis. McClemis centers, but it's intercepted by a Zip player who clears it down the ice. Teams change on the fly. Back for UD, Kyle Kruger. Kruger will dump it in. Back for the Zips, Jordan Campbell. Campbell checked. Loose puck at center. Zips will clear it into the Dayton zone. Justin Ellis shoots in behind the Flyer goal. Held in left point, Evan Yaste. Yaste checked. Flyers almost had a 2-on-1, but unable to make the connection. Now a stolen puck right in front. Trying to pick it up and unable to hold it in was Barola. He has to go get it. Bishop passed it back for him, but Barola had not entered the attacking zone before the pass came. Midway through the first period, no score. Chase Johnson wraps it around, but not out. Flyers hold in. Barola poke checked away, but back to get it Palacios of Dayton. Moises Palacios dumps in. Puck bangs off the inboards to the side of the Zip net. Zips clear, and a nice play on defense by Moises Palacios to prevent an Akron breakout. Now back for the Zips. Campbell centers, and it's wide. Both teams have had a few scoring chances so far, but unable to penetrate the net so far. Now back come the Flyers the other way. Carrying in. Briggs. Ryan Briggs. Check down behind the net. Puck carries back to center ice. Back in for Dayton. Hushcroft. Bangs it off the dasher boards behind the net. 8:50 to go. Scoreless first period. Now whistle. Delayed penalty on Dayton. So this will be the third penalty on the Flyers so far. A cross check is the call on this occasion. So for the Flyers so far, we've had a check from behind, a charge, and a cross check. At least we're playing aggressive hockey. They did kill off a 5-on-3 power play early in the period. Zips trying to set up the power play, looking for the puck. Was Manarino, but a pass to the left point escapes to center ice. The Zips have to retreat. Now for Akron, Olton. Doran Olton winds up, fakes a shot. Crosswing pass. Oh, a tip in front by Wilson is wide. He was set up for a tip. Now unable to hold the puck in was Jake Lubick. He's checked down at center ice. Here come the Zips again. Olton and a whistle, and what do we got? Puck flips over the boards. A minute 7 left in the Akron power play. 7:54 in the first period. We are scoreless. Dumping in Jordan Campbell deep in the Dayton zone. Flyers can't clear. Now off a skate, the puck comes back to center. Zips again have to retreat. Evan Yaste up ahead to Justin Ellis. Ellis racing across center. Ellis looking for a play in front. Carries it into the right wing corner. Trying to fight off a check. He's ridden into the boards. 20 seconds left in the Akron power play. Puck cleared the length of the rink. Johnson out of the net. Will shoot to center. Flyers intercept. 5 seconds left in the power play. The Flyers are going to kill this one off as well. Back for Akron. Evan Yaste will bang it in to the right wing corner of the Dayton zone. Pass off the stick to the Zip blue line. For Akron, here is Jake Lubick. Lubick shot! And Jurgic will snare that out of the air. Knee high and hold it on for faceoff. Jamie Jurgic back in the nets for Dayton. He is another holdover of about a dozen players from the 2018 and 19 squad that last played for Dayton. For the Akron Zips, Brandon Bohm. Pass at center intercepted. Flyers dump back in. Bohm back again for Akron. Pass off a stick to the Flyer blue line. Puck volleyed around at center ice. Several players fight for it now. The Flyers come away with it. Delayed penalty on Akron. And there, as the player touches up for the Zips, we've got a Akron interference penalty. And that will be on Evan Asino. So interference, the call on the Zips. 5:40 to go in the period, and Dayton Flyers on their first power play chance. On the ice for the Flyers right now, we've DeLeo and Bora. As well as Martin. Anthony Martina. There's a shot, and it's blocked in front off the stick of Spencer DeLeo. There's a shot. Chase Johnson the save. And there is a player shoved into the crossbar by the Zips, and that's going to be a major penalty, I would have to assume. That is Jordan Campbell. That should be a 5-minute, is it 5 minutes? Or just a 2-minute charge? He hit him head first, or neck first, into the crossbar or the net, but it's just going to be a 2-minute minor. Now the Flyers on their own 2-man power play. Chase Johnson caught the shot, and Jordan Campbell and one of the Flyer players got into a shoving match, and the Flyer player, I didn't see who that was, that shoved head first into the crossbar of the net, but he's all right. Now for Dayton, Trevor Barola. Oh, a pass for a one-time shot is fanned on. And the puck carries down the length of the rink. So Barola and Martina unable to hook up on that pass. There's a centering pass off the stick of the Flyers. Bora. Bora centers, pad save, loose puck, Johnson down, nope, whistle. The Flyers are celebrating, but it's waved off. The goal had come loose, and Johnson had the puck, but the goal had come loose. The net had come loose, so immediately the officials waved that goal off, so no goal. So the net came loose before the puck went in, and that was the ruling of the officials. 49 seconds left in the 2-man power play for Dayton. And then there will be an additional 13 seconds of a power play, 1-man power play after that, unless the Flyers score. And the Zips are able to clear the puck down the ice. Jurgic will set it up for Charlie Hushcroft. And folks, if I'm a little tentative on some of these names, it's because I just saw them right before the game. Is the first time I've seen some of these names. So I'm not familiar with these guys yet. Hushcroft over the Zip line. Hushcroft back for Pompena. Pompena over for 5. Shot! Let's go! Hayden Ward from the right wing. Power play goal. The Flyers lead it 1-0. And the good thing about that, they scored before the first penalty had expired, so they still have the second penalty. So Aiden Ward scores at 15:49. The Flyers still have a one-man power play for another 20 seconds. Flyers holding it in. Tragesser. Centering pass intercepted by the Zips' Doran Olton, who clears the puck the length of the rink. Penalty killed off, so the Flyers score on the two-man power play. Chase Johnson behind his own net. Unable to clear it. Loose puck in front, a shot, and it's tipped just wide. Shot by the Flyers, tips behind the net. Now for Akron. They're unable to clear it. Barola shot, and that deflects off a stick in front, high and wide. Flyers trying to hold it in. Oh, just missing the tip in front was Will Musel. 2.5 to go in the period. For the Zips, Olton clears down the ice. Icing waved off. Flyers looking to come back. Back for the Zips. Cam Wilson. Clears up ahead to center. Picking it up, Campbell. Campbell a shot, and that's off a stick and up over the glass into the netting. And there's a stoppage of play. 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the period. Flyers in white lead at 1-0. Coming on for the Zips is Adam Thomas. Taking the face-off, Zach McCarron against Dayton's Kevin Bora. Puck centered, intercepted by Bora. He lost it to the Zips McCarron. McCarron carries in front, and his shot is wide. McCarron chases it down. Right point for Brandon Boehm. He has it stripped away. Back come the Flyers. Kevin Bora bumped off on a nice hip check. Now another big, some physical play out there from the Zips. Back for Akron, circling his own zone, Jordan Campbell. There's a nice strip check away by the Flyers' Aiden Ward. 1:15 to go in the period. Back for the Flyers comes Alex Pompina. Dumps it into the right wing corner of the Zip zone where several players fight for it. Under a minute to play in the period. Looking for the puck in front is Ward, but the Zips are able to carry out of their own zone. Icing is waved off as the Flyers' Aiden Ward tried to play the puck. Ward working through the defense. Ward, shot, save, rebound, cleared to the left wing boards. Olton looking down the ice, trying to hit Manarino. Manarino has it stripped away. 10 seconds left in the period. Looking for the puck right in front for a shot, and they score! Screenshot right at the moment of the whistle. Just what is that? 7 seconds left in the period. That is Dom Manarino, and he scores at 19:53. Oh, that's tough. A screenshot, as there's a lot of traffic in front of the Dayton net. Manarino was able to set up at the top of the slot and get a good shot away, and Jurgic, he may not have even seen it. There's a shot blocker saved by Johnson at the buzzer. A very highly spirited first period comes to a close. Aiden Ward for Dayton at 15:49. Dom Manarino for Akron at 19:53. The score after one is Dayton 1 and Akron 1. We'll see if we can get some shot stats. Are they going to cut the ice? Are they going to cut the ice? Oh. Because the players and the refs almost didn't look like, I guess they are. So, well, let's see, the officials, I don't think the officials expected the Zamboni to come out after this first period, but it is. So we will have an intermission here between the first and second periods. So stay with me. I'm going to...
The coaches want to come up and interview, they might or might not.
So stay with us, folks. The score again 1-1 after one period, and at first it didn't look like for sure whether they're going to bring the Zamboni out or not, but they are. So we will have an intermission after this period. So stay with us, and we're going to try to get some shots on goal stats from the scorers table, and we will be back. Stay with us here, Dayton Flyer Hockey, on the Dayton Flyer Hockey YouTube channel. Stay with us.
It's a fun game. They look good.
We're in the first intermission of the Dayton Flyers Akron Zips opening season game here at the Kettering Ice Arena. My name is Kent Jacobs. We appreciate you joining us this afternoon. A highly spirited first period. Showed Aiden Ward scoring a power play goal for Dayton with just 4 minutes left in the period, and then with just 7 seconds left in the period, Dom Manarino put one in for the Akron Zips. Of course, the Flyers are part of the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League. Final scores from last night, and we went over earlier how the Flyer game at Akron last night was canceled, not postponed, but canceled due to some paperwork problems as far as clearing their way for travel last night. And I was told that game is not going to be made up, so it is indeed canceled. So today, the first game of the season. Other scores last night in the ACHA in the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League. Treen beat the Michigan Wolverines club team 5-1. Have any idea where Treen is, Jeff? Treen College. You ever heard of it? Also, the Miami Redhawks shut out the Illinois Illini 6-0. Louisville defeated Purdue Northwest 5-4. Bowling Green State and Cincinnati skated to a 5-5 tie. And the Kentucky Wildcats defeated DePaul 5-0. Game so far this afternoon: the Ohio Bobcats have defeated West Virginia 13-4. And Cincinnati bounces back. The Bearcats defeat Bowling Green this afternoon 9-7. Miami has defeated Illinois 6-3. These are all final. Louisville defeated Purdue Northwest 4-1. And other games that are scheduled to be played tonight, later this evening, will be DePaul at Kentucky and Treen at Michigan. That's tomorrow. Treen at Michigan tomorrow. And that rounds out the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League schedule for this weekend. Where is Treen? I only have a few moments, so I'm going to try to look them up. Treen. Because I have never heard of Treen College. Treen Hockey. Treen University in Angola, Indiana. You hear the rousing ovation of the students, the UD students, as the Flyers come out. the Treen Thunder from Angola, Indiana. Never heard of them. So they must have a good hockey program. Well, as you can hear, probably, as the students that are sitting next to the Flyer bench give the UD players a rousing welcome back out from the locker room. And if you've never attended a University of Dayton hockey game here at the Kettering Ice Arena, when there are students in attendance, things can get a little bit wild. It was 3 years ago that some students were thrown out of the rink for tossing, and I'm not making this up, tossing frozen shrimp and frozen ribs onto the ice, onto the rink playing surface. So that's how things can sometimes get at Dayton Flyer hockey games. There's a lot. Hey, these guys are. Did we get a shot of them, Jeff? Did you get a shot of them? Did you get a shot of them? You did? Okay. And these guys are going bananas. Some of them are just dressed in tank tops. And it's too cold in here. I went out and got my jacket. It's cold here on the. You have the ice, the rink surface, and it's chilly out here, but inside. But we're all set for action. Dayton and Akron Zips, period number 2. We're all knotted at 1 apiece. Flyers moving left to right in this second period. And the Flyers in the white sweaters, the Columbia blue and the red trim, and the red trunks. Well, most of them had red trunks, and some of the fellows had blue trunks. Akron Zips, and they're all black. There's a blast that's shot that's wide of the Dayton goal. Well, we had a fast and furious first period. Centering pass broken up by goaltender Jurczyk. Flyers can't get out of their own zone. Now it's tipped to center. There's a big hit. A couple of players fighting, and on a whistle. And somebody is gone, I think. Is that young Mr. Doran Holton? And I think, is he gone? He's going to the penalty box. I thought at first that maybe he was ejected, but he's going to the box for a 2-minute charge. Fire power play. They scored on their first power play chance with 4 minutes left in the first period. There's a shot, save, Johnson. Rebound loose in front, and it's tipped away to the left wing boards. Another shot blocked, a whistle. Now what's happened? Oh, the goal came loose. If you're wondering, why does the goal come loose so often? Well, it has to be on a breakaway moorings, because the players are flying around so fast out there that if it was really set in concrete out there and those guys flew into those goalposts, if they were just set, could really injure somebody, so they make them so they break away. Flyers on a power play chance for another minute and a half. For Dayton Bora, centers, flip in front, chop down, Johnson at the ice, and he's got it, and some pushing and shoving, some elbows flying, and the officials break it up. We have another infraction. We do. And another charge on the Zips. I didn't catch the number of who went in. So 2 successive charging penalties on Akron, and the Flyers again have a 2-man power play. They scored on the 2-man power play when Aiden Ward scored at 15:49 of the first. Catch pass back for Hushcroft, top of the slot. Hushcroft, right wing circle, but it's too far in front of Musil. Musil had a clear shot from that right wing circle. Ward, top of the right wing circle, shot, save. Ward again, tees it up, shot, and skate save, and a whistle. And we'll have a face-off to the left of Chase Johnson, and net for Akron. From the draw, Flyers hold in. Ward, Aiden Ward, drops it off, circling around. Back pass for Pompeia. Oh no, they let it escape the zone. They've got to circle back. Ward carries back in. He's got Musil in front. He didn't see him. Now here's Kevin Bishop. Bishop behind the net, 20 seconds left in the 2-man power play. Here comes Jurczyk out of the net to set up the puck. Back is Metcalf for Dayton. Pass dropped off to the left wing boards, picked up by the Flyers. Now there's a shot, pad save. Johnson down. Puck still loose, and it's off a body to the right wing boards. First penalty's killed off. Martin for Dayton. Behind the net, looking to make a play. There's a one-time shot, and it's fanned on by Barola. 5 seconds left in the power play. Aiden Ward, wrist shot, blocked. Here come the Zips. They killed off both penalties. Here come the Zips. Lubick, shot wide. Lubick goes down hard into the corner. He's all right. Another shot, swatted away by Jamie Jurczyk. 16 minutes left in the second period. Barola, give and go pass, unable to hook up. Puck carries back behind the Akron net. Teams change on the fly. Back come the Zips. Nice back check for the Flyers by Martin. There's a chip shot that's wide of the Dayton goal. Touch pass over to the right wing. Centers, Jurczyk down, tipped wide. Flyers looking to come back. Long pass off of Hushcroft's stick and over the glass for a face-off. It's into the netting that surrounds the end boards on both ends of the rink. 15-19 left in the second period. We're all tied at 1. Flyers a power play goal late in the first period. The Zips answered with a goal, even strength goal Just 7 seconds left in that first period. From the face-off, Akron's Ellis lost it. Back come the Flyers. Trageser dropped it off. Shot. Save. Johnson down. Whistles and nothing. Chase Johnson had hit the ice and had the puck underneath him. From the draw, deep in the Akron zone. Big hit at center, elicits in the reaction from the crowd. Flyers hold in. Right point. Rocky Phillips gives it off for Trageser. Nick Trageser, pass, shot, Bishop save, blocker save. Chase Johnson down. He's tangled up with a Dayton player, but play had carried at the other end of the rink. Now back for Dayton. Trageser and a whistle offside. Well, for a few moments, Chase Johnson was tangled up with a Flyer player down on the ice, but play had carried back into the Akron zone, so the Flyers unable to take advantage of that. That was ruled as a coincidental contact, no interference on the goalie. Big hit right along the Akron bench, along the boards. Trevor Barola for Dayton. Lost it. Back comes Akron. Travis Posnick dumps in. Under 14 to go in the period. For Dayton, Liam McLemus. Has it poke checked away to center ice. For the Flyers, Matt DeMarco. Right wing pass intercepted. Zips come back. Here come the Zips, not the dips, the Zips. Flyers looking to come back, and Spencer DeLeo carries over the Akron line. Shot! He's hit! Spencer DeLeo! And the Flyers lead it 2-1. At 6:47 of the second period, 6:47 elapsed in the period. Spencer DeLeo, an even strength goal, and the Flyers have their second lead. Nice wrist shot flipped up over Chase Johnson. Now DeLeo again, a shot. And that's just wide. It deflected wide. Zips defense trying to get it out of their own end. Finley unable to. Christian Finley has to circle back for the Zips. He'll stop behind his own net. Touch pass to center for Akron. Here's Campbell. Over the line, poke checked. Puck cleared off the skate. Back comes Dayton's Aiden Ward into the Zip zone and lost it before he could get a shot away. Back for Akron, Christian Finley. He's bumped by a couple of Flyers, and there's a delayed penalty. And that penalty is going to be on Akron. That's an elbowing minor on Christian Finley as he was trying to get between two Flyers And he threw an elbow to the, looked like near to the head of one of the Flyer players. And so another power play chance for Dayton. The homestanding Flyers lead it 2-1. 12.5 to play, second period. My name's Kent Jacobs. We appreciate you joining us from Kettering Ice Arena. The opening game of the 2021-22 season. Shot, tip, in front. Nice setup, but Musel's tip was wide. Spinning, shooting, blocked off the stick of Bishop. Here is Hushcroft, side of the net. Centers one for Trageser off his stick. Back come the Zips. Colin Wilson. Centers, tip, save by Jurgic. At the other end, Chase Johnson will rim it to the near wing boards for teammate Cam Wilson. Lost it. Flyers intercept, centering pass with Johnson down, and he covers the puck at the top of his crease. I'll tell you what, the first half of this game, like I say, it looks like these teams have been bottled up for a year, which they have been. You'd think these guys hadn't played hockey for a couple of years. They are fast and physical. It's been very physical on both sides. It's like a lot of pent-up energy. These guys ready to get back in action after sitting out last year due to the you-know-what. Trevor Barula behind his own net. Scoops the puck up. Pass at center. Rink wide now for Pompea. Pompina for DeLeo, centering. Shot! And there's goal! Alex Pompina! Flyers lead it 3-1. Power play goal. That goal scored at 9 minutes and 56 seconds elapsed in the second period. And Dayton's second power play goal of the game. There's a shot from center and a pad save by Jamie Jurgic of Dayton. Now for the Zips, spinning shot is just wide by Jordan Campbell. He had his back to Jurgic, spun and let loose a wrist shot, but it was wide of the crease. Now Doran Olton centers. And we've got another delayed penalty, it looks like. This time it was on Dayton. What do we got there? What is that call? It looks like it's going to be on Dayton's Aiden Ward. What is that signal, Jeff? Oh, is that boarding? Oh, okay. So it's a charge. It's Aiden Ward of Dayton. There's a right wing shot, and Jurgic may have gotten a piece of that with his big mitt. Another shot off the mitt of Jurgic. And the Flyers clear to the center red line. 2-minute power play for the Zips, who trail the Dayton Flyers 3-1 midway through this game, and midway through the second period. Rumbling across center ice is big Doran Olton. That's hard to say. Doran Olton. There's a centering pass broken up into the corner. Puck chipped away back to center ice. Back to play it for the Zips is Jake Lubick. Give and go now to Justin Ellis over the Dayton line in front. And now carries into the corner. Puck held in by Manarino. His centering pass deflects off the corner boards and back all the way to the Akron blue line. Now rumbling across is Lubick into the Dayton zone. He was checked before he could pull the trigger on a shot. The Zips have to circle back. Half a minute left in the Dayton power play, or rather the Akron power play, I beg your pardon. For the Zips, Ellis. Ellis checked behind the Dayton net. Loose puck in the corner. McCarron. McCarron passes over for Campbell. Shot, and that's high and wide over the crossbar. Now here's Jordan Campbell. Behind the Dayton net, Jordan Campbell. Emerges on right wing, drops it off for Boehm. Boehm checked. Loose puck at center. Back come the Flyers. Trying to carry in short-handed. And now a shot. And it's from a bad angle from behind the net off the stick of Martin, and that's back to center. Penalties killed off. Score remains 3-1 in favor of the Dayton Flyers with 8 minutes and 1 second left in the second period. Do we have another penalty? We do, and it will be on young Mr. Evan Asino, and this is a charge. Not a lot of charges. I'm going to change the name of the Zips to the Chargers. There's been a number of charging penalties this afternoon. Well, the Flyers have had one or two of them as well. From the draw, shot! High and wide off the stick of Dayton's Aiden Ward. And now the Zips clear. And Jamie Jurgic will pass to center for Pompina. Pompina pass off the stick now, carries to Macula. Ethan Macula has it taken away and cleared. A minute and a half left in the Dayton power play. Of course, another, as we watch the Flyers, Pompina drop it off for Macula. Macula for Hushcroft. Hushcroft checked. He's still able to shovel it behind the Zip net. Looking for the puck, center slot. Ward shot, blocked in front. Pompina behind the net. Macula looking to make a play. Macula chopped a tip in front with Johnson down. He's got it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold everybody's horses. Some Dayton fans and players thought they scored, but the officials are saying that Johnson had covered the puck. So no goal. 45 seconds left in the Dayton power play. And we've got a Dayton penalty. This is a slash on Bobby Bradley. And I was about to mention that maybe this rash of penalties in this game could be a product of these guys haven't played for a year. Yeah, I mean, that could be why there's so many penalties. They're just over aggressive and not used to playing, you know. So we're even strength for 45 seconds, 4-on-4. And then the Zips will have a power play. Barola for Dayton over the zip line. Center. Let's go! It was off a skate. Barola was going to center it, but I think it hit off a skate into the net. Let's see who's getting. It might have been Palacios, or who got the goal? Palacios or Barola? A 4-1 lead now for Dayton. That goal coming at 13:40. We'll give it to either Palacios or Barola. We'll find out at the end of the period. So a 4-1 Dayton lead. 6:11 to play in the second period. From the draw, just outside the Dayton blue line. Flyers. Aiden Ward lost it. Centering pass, clear shot. Another tip off the rebound off the end boards, and Jurgic covers, and now a scuffle. This is a barn burner beside the Flyer cage, involving about 7 or 8 individuals. And it's quickly broken up by officials Schreiner, Sign, and DiMuccio. 5:52 to go in the period. No penalties incurred on that scuffle. Flyers whistle the puck down the ice. Akron on a power play for another minute. It was a Flyer penalty, and I think I missed it. There's a shot the other way from the stick of. There's a tip, nice tip chance by Lubick of Akron, but the pad save made by Jurgic of Dayton. Whistle. Now what do we got? Another penalty. That's going to be on young Mr. Asino. Another charge. Holy cats. Charge. There will be a clinic after the game on how to avoid charging penalties. I'm being facetious. Now the Zips clear their zone. They trail it 4-1 to the Flyers. I'll tell you what, the Dayton Flyers, we mentioned at the outset of this webcast that the last action the Flyers had was February of 2019 and a thrilling come-from-behind win over then state-ranked Ohio State's club team. But despite that win, the Flyers finished the season with only 2 wins. This team seems to be much improved in Tony Morris's second actual season of coaching. It looks like this group, and of course Tony's first year was the year before last. There's a shot that's wide. It looks like they are much more prepared for the action to start this season, as they were at the end of, you could see an evolution in the team a couple of years ago as the season progressed. It didn't show up on the scoreboard, but then it did at the end of the year. But now, the Flyers look like a pretty crisp bunch out there right now. There's a big check into the boards by the Zips, Evan Yates, and he's going off, and he's mad. He's not happy. He said, hey, I just checked the guy into the boards, but Macula has a cross-check into the boards. So another power play chance. Flyers now on a two-man advantage for 40 seconds. Trageser centers. Now it comes over to the left wing circle. Barola looking for the puck. Now it's over for behind the net for Trageser. And then a whistle as a couple of guys go down. What do we got again? What do we got? A lot of barking and chirping going on. It'll be Kevin Bora for Dayton. Wins the draw, back for Barola. Over for Nick Trageser, back to Barola. Trevor Barola. For Trageser, another whistle. And this time, what do we got? As one of the... What do we got now? Well... Oh, goodness gracious. Another charge. Holy cow. And now another whistle. Flyers on a 5-on-3 power play. Here is Barola, top of the slot, moving in, pulls the trigger. Chase Johnson apparently made the stop on that, or it was blocked in front, one or the other. Now the Zips trying to come back as the puck shot down the ice, icing waved off. Penalty to Ellis is over with. Ellis after the puck, but beaten to it by Trevor Barola of Dayton. Pass at center for DeMarco. DeMarco checked. A couple of players collide. Now Bohm shot ahead. It's intercepted. Back come the Flyers. There's a check down to the ice by Lubick of Akron. Puck carries to the center red line. Down to 2:20 to go in the period. Working around the defense for a bad angle shot was Lubick. Flyers tipping away. Back they come. Will Musso moving in all alone. Pulls the trigger. Saved by Chase Johnson with the blocker pad. And it's cleared away as Chase Johnson is able to be equal to the task on that breakout chance by Will Musil. 1:40 to go in the period. And we've got an icing on the Zips. And we'll take the face off the other way. It was 1-1 after one period, and in this period, another penalty on the Zips. Justin Ellis. Well, and a slash. that's roughing. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I was thinking that was a charge. Okay. So I'm corrected. All those charging penalties were roughing penalties. I'm sorry. So roughing penalties. And now we've got a charge and a rough. I'm going to sound like a dog here. Rough, rough, rough. We've had roughing penalties all over instead of charging penalties. So coincidental minor penalties. So we're 4-on-4 with a minute and a half to go in the period. Palacio centers, and it's tipped away. Checked by Akron's Colin Wilson. Puck centered right through the goal crease by Dayton's Kyle Kruger. Knocking the puck down at center ice was Dayton's Kyle Kruger. He gets it right back. Pass through the skates back into the Akron zone. Back to play it for the Flyers there was Briggs. Briggs is checked in the corner. Got a loose glove on the ice. 45 seconds left in the period. There's a big hit by big rambling Doran Olton. And now we got a Flyer player down, as well as a zip. Doran Olton, he's the big cat out there. He knocked Dayton's Aiden Ward down. Well, I don't have, there were no rosters posted for these teams before the game, so I don't have any height or weight on these guys, but number 45 on the Zips, Doran Olton, looks like a big dude out there, and he's kind of throwing his weight around a little bit. We're down to just 15 seconds left in the period. Loose puck Musel for Dayton. Centers, and that's off a skate before the Flyers' Rocky Phillips could get a shot away. And as the puck is carried to center ice by Zip captain Cam Wilson, the period comes to a close. A very fruitful frame for the Dayton Flyers. They outscore the Zips 3-0 in the second period and lead it 4-1 after two, in a nice sportsmanship moment in what has been a very rough game so far between the two netminders, Chase Johnson and Jamie Jurgic, as they exchange fist bumps as they cross paths. And are we going to get another ice cut? I guess we will. So the score after two periods of play at the Kettering Ice Arena, the Dayton Flyers 4 and the Akron Zips 1. Sit tight, folks. I'm going to try to see if I can get some shot on goal stats from the scorer's bench, and we'll be back here momentarily. Nobody's down there, so I don't really. Well, our scorers table attendants have vacated the box down there, so I don't have shots on goal. So instead, we'll again check the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League scoreboard. So again, last night's games are what we've learned today. Trine College is located in Angola, Indiana, and their nickname is the Thunder. And they defeated the Michigan Wolverines club team last night 5-1. The Miami Redhawks, their club team, defeated Illinois 6-0. Louisville over Purdue Northwest 5-4. Bowling Green and Cincinnati 5-5 tie last night. And of course the Dayton Akron game we went over earlier was canceled. Kentucky 5, DePaul nothing. And Ohio 13, West Virginia 4. That's today. That was played this morning. So this morning, Ohio Bobcats 13, West Virginia 4. Cincinnati over Bowling Green 9-7. And this afternoon, Miami 6, Illinois 3. Louisville 4, Purdue Northwest 1. And later on tonight, DePaul at Kentucky and Trine at Michigan. The Trine Thunder at Michigan. That's tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm sorry. Tomorrow morning. Trine at Michigan, 9:30 tomorrow morning. And that wraps it up for the weekend. Here are all the teams that comprise the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League, again, which is a set or a sub-conference of the overall ACHA, which is the NCAA of college club hockey. As the teams... Oh.
You guys keeping up?
Hey, what's going on?
Keeping up with all the action out here?
Yeah, we're trying to. It's, trying to keep track of the penalties. Tony Morris, head coach of the Dayton Flyers. Appreciate you stopping up to talk to us for a few minutes, Tony. And since we had a year off last year, anybody that's not familiar, I have been saying this is your second actual full year of coaching, correct, for the Flyers?
Yeah, second year for coaching them, but we didn't take last year off. We did a lot of things off the ice, recruited a lot of guys, had a lot of conversations with a lot of players. So we had a great turnout for tryouts. We had 42 guys at tryouts, which is far more than we can roster. So we had to cut it down to 30, and we got the 30 guys here that are, pushing everybody. And the team, I'm telling you right now, there's some cohesiveness there that it's refreshing to see after having a year off.
I say that the way both of these teams come out, it's like a little bit of pent-up energy. It's almost like you didn't let these guys play for a year, and then both teams come out, and boy, they're really rocking, socking action out there. I tell you, both teams are really ready to play today.
Yeah, it's great, and we had a good fan turnout too, and that's only bolstering that energy that the guys have. But now we just got to make sure we keep our cool and finish the third period here, last 20. We always say 20 miles, 20 smiles here, so that's what we're looking forward to this last period.
Now tell us a little bit about Tony Morris. What is your background in hockey? Where are you from? And give us a little bit of background on yourself.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised here in Dayton, and I played in all these travel teams growing up around here. I went to Wright State. We played 4 years at Wright State. We won a national championship at D3 club hockey when we were there. And then I started coaching Springboro High School, which is a suburb just south of Dayton here. I did that for 11 years. I took a season off. I do a pre-post team now called the Dayton Nugs for high school, and then I also do the Flyers. So
you were part of that Wright State national championship?
Yeah, I was on the plane. Our goalie coach was the goalie, and then two assistant coaches, Coach Sands and Coach Morris, my brother. They were the coaches when I was there. So
let me run a couple of names past you. Jonathan Eubanks.
Yeah, Jonathan Eubanks used to be my roommate.
Ben Kearney.
Ben Kearney and I played together since we were about teenagers. Yep.
Oh, I worked with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
I worked with those guys at Workflow One in Dayton some years ago,
yeah.
And we all were. I never played hockey, but I've been following hockey since 1979 when I picked up the St. Louis Blues on the radio and got hooked. But so we talked hockey all the time, and those guys told me about that team. So that's great.
Yeah.
Your playing background, what positions did you play growing up?
Mostly a center or a forward, usually a center. So,
defensive forward or a scorer?
A little bit of both.
And how did you get into coaching?
I really kind of fell into it. I've always was a captain for my teams, and then when I graduated college, a guy told me I could be the assistant coach, and then he retired before the season started. So I just kind of 23 years old, got thrown into a head coaching position of high schoolers. So it was an adventure from there. So,
and this position, this was kind of a strange situation here a few years ago, wasn't it? Where we had a coach leave during the course of a season. Is that right? Were you familiar with that?
Yeah, he had. I think he had a job position that changed, and he wasn't local anymore. So they just had some guys that were recent graduates that were coaching him. So it's Barry Conway coached him for a while, and then there was a couple years where there was a gap there, and then we got into the position, and here we go. So,
well, you're about to get going, but I'll tell you, Barry Conway, and we go back a long way. Because he used to play in a beer league team that I first started 25 years ago with a tape recorder up here practicing, announcing. He was part of that group. All right, Tony, thanks. Good luck in the third period. Head coach Tony Morris of the Dayton Flyers. We appreciate him coming up and visiting with us. How about that? Jeff, hey Jeff, how the tentacles of hockey in this area are so intertwined. I don't know if you were listening to our talk. Did you hear where two of the teammates Tony had on his national championship Wright State team I worked with?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
well,
I threw out those names, and he said, "Yeah,
streaming the game for Tony earlier
yeah.
today with the Nugs."
Yeah, he was saying how they he played on that team, and I threw out a couple of names, and he said, "Yeah, this guy was my roommate. Yeah, this guy was I played with since I was a kid." And I was like, "I worked with those guys." Yeah, and then he brought up Barry Conway's name. It's like Barry Conway.
I played with Barry on Thursday at Huff and Puff on that team.
Oh boy, I tell you. All right, folks. Well, we appreciate Coach Morris joining us in between periods, and we're about ready for the start of the third period. I was going to list off all the teams of the Tri-State League, and we'll do that on a stoppage of play. It's 4-1 Dayton Flyers. At the outset of the third period, my name is Kent Jacobs. We appreciate you joining us. Scoring summary so far, first period. Ward for Dayton, Manorino of Akron. Second period, DeLeo and Pompina. And I think Palacios, I was unable to get a confirmation on that goal whether it belonged to Palacios or Barola, because the fellows at the scorer's table, they had left to do some other things at the whistle at the end of the period. So we'll see if we can get that confirmation before we leave you at the end of the game. Well, what do we got now? Now we've got interference. Who we got? That will be young Mr. Palacios of Dayton. Moises Palacios. So, the Akron Zips, trying to get back in the game, trailing 4-1, have a two-man power play for a minute 15. Shot, blocked in front, cleared away. Again, the goalies, Chase Johnson for Akron to our left, and Jamie Jurgic for Dayton to our right. Flyers in the white sweaters with the Columbia blue and red trim and the red trunks. For the Zips, Wilson centers. Tipped back away to the right wing boards. And the Flyers were able to empty out the zone. Back for the Zips, Evan Yaste. Yaste works around Macula. Lost the handle, puck cleared. Now big hit the other end is Olton was sent flying by what looked like Kruger of Dayton. Here is Ellis of Akron. Drop pass to the left point. Now right point, Yaste. Yaste. Shot, save. Rebound was precariously loose in the Dayton crease, but then cleared away. Now back for the Zips again. McCarron centers. Shot. And they score. Jake Lubick. Power play goal. Let's see, was it Lubick or was it young Mr. Ellis? Looks like Ellis. So Ellis, a power play goal at 2:16 of the period. And now 4-2 as Coach Morris take it 20 minutes at a time. Well, now the Zips are winning the third period so far 1-0, but the Flyers still lead at 4-2. Coach Morris wants to play in 20 minutes. Eckerman's loose puck. Oh, just missing. A backhander for the Flyers was DeMarco. Now Chase Johnson down in the crease, and he is shaken up. A Flyer player down. That is, looks like Trageser. I think that Johnson may have hit his head on the crossbar. He was shaken up a little bit. No goal. Some of the Flyer players thought that goal counted, but the whistle had blown. As Johnson had hit the ice, and the referee's checking with him to see if he's all right. Trageser loses the draw. The Zips hold in. Now Trageser gets it back. Trageser looking to center the puck. It's tied up behind the net. Kruger for Dayton, or DeMarco, I'm sorry. DeMarco drops it back from the team. Martine for Kruger. Centered, it's off a stick. Barola of Dayton. Barola check down to the ice into the corner. For the Zips, Posnick clears the zone. Carrying back in was Kruger. Kruger checked. Shot wide off the stick of Dayton's Nick Trageser. 16:40 to play in regulation. Flyers lead at 4-2 over the Akron Zips. Puck fought for along the right wing boards in the Zip zone, carried in front, and being checked was Dayton's Bradley before he could pull the trigger on a shot. Spencer DeLeo. DeLeo looking to make a play from the left wing circle. DeLeo. Give and go Palacios. Palacios checked. Loose puck. Bora drops it off. Shot. Johnson swallows that puck up off the stick of Aiden Ward. He shot right into the pads as Johnson came way out of the crease to cut off that shot angle. 15:40 to play. Third and final period. Kevin Bishop for Dayton, and his opposition looks like Jordan Campbell down there. From the draw. Campbell drops it off along the boards. It's poke checked away, back behind the net. Akron's Evan Yace picks it up and clears his own zone. And letting that carry for icing is the goaltender, Jamie Jurczyk. And one of the Zip players thought that icing was waved off and said, hey, what the heck? And so the officials confer, and they acknowledge that they did make a mistake, and so they'll have a face-off at center ice instead of deep in the Akron zone. Had it been icing, the face-off would have been taken to penalize the team that committed the offense way back at the other end. Now another whistle, and we got a penalty as the officials point at Flyer player Kevin Bishop, and he says, who, me? What did I do? And that's Kevin Bishop, number 23, and before the game, Kevin told me, when I told him I was the play-by-play guy, I said 2-3. He says, I'm 2-3, and say 2-3 did a good job. So he's done a good job, although that play, he's heading off to the penalty box. Flyers lead at 4-2, but are shorthanded. Akron's Evan Achino carries the puck to center ice. He'll dump it in. Puck bangs off the dasher boards and whistle, and we got an interference, or icing the other way. Well, icing, and the Zips will have to have a face-off back on their end. That's something, if you're on a power play, is a no-no because it kills time. Ryan Ryan Briggs takes the draw for Dayton. Trevor Barola at center and lost it to Akron's Jordan Campbell. Campbell checked. Loose puck behind the Dayton net. 1:15 left in the Zip power play. Lining up a wrist shot was Akron's Evan Yaste, and that's blocked on defense. Yaste again pulls the trigger and right into the breadbasket of Jamie Jurczyk, and he will hold it for a face-off. I mentioned the teams of the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League. Louisville, Indiana, Miami of Ohio, Michigan, Bowling Green, Dayton, Ohio State, Ohio U, Xavier, and Kentucky. And of course, these are all club teams. A lot of those schools that I just mentioned have both club and varsity teams, but the Flyers are one of the schools that have only the club team. Teams like Ohio State and Kentucky and Miami and Michigan and Indiana, the bigger schools, they've got both the varsity and the club teams. Of course, the distinction is the club players are not on scholarship. And also the schools do not financially support the programs. There's a shot and a glove save by Jurczyk. He snaps that out of the air and holds on. So these teams have to travel themselves. They have to come up with their own funding. They have to fund their own programs, as they are not under the umbrella of the NCAA. They are basically kind of intramurals, almost what you'd say, a very sophisticated intramural setup. There's a shot and the save by Chase Johnson. Of course, the schools that have the setup of both the varsity and the club teams are almost like really like junior varsity, like feeder teams for the varsity teams. From the draw, face off, shot, pad save, Johnson, and he'll hold it. Nick Tragesser takes the face off for Dayton. From the draw, passing up on the shot was Macula. He tried to dish it off in front, but it's broken up and cleared away. Out of the penalty box for Dayton is Bradley. Penalty killed off. Now Bradley tied up behind the Zip net, and the puck tips up into the mesh, the netting of the cage, and that will cause a stoppage. 12:50 to play in regulation, and I don't know if the Zips come back to tie the game. I don't know if there will be an overtime period or not. It might depend on the time constraints of the arena. I don't know if they have anything. They didn't have any ice time taken up before this game, so I don't know if there will be an overtime period or not. But for the Flyers' sake, let's hope we don't have to ask that question. Carrying back over the Zip line, Aiden Ward bumped off the puck. Ellis for Zip. The Zips carries in. He's ridden out of the play by Ward of Dayton. Puck, a nice tip on a shot. That was on a centering pass by Akron's Evan Yaste, but it was blocked off a body in front. But a nice tip, a nice setup. Now Yaste back to get it for the Zips. Pass intercepted by the Flyers' Pompina. This shot is high and wide from near the blue line. Pompina along the left wing boards, tied up. Here come the Zips. Nice check on Ellis by Pompina to hold the puck in the Zip zone. Big hit by Akron's Nolan Lyle, and the Flyer player is shaken up. And a whistle, man, that was, who was that? Was that Bradley? Is that Bobby Bradley over there? Boy, he was hammered into the boards. He's up on his feet now. And his stick was broken. That's how hard that hit was. But apparently a clean hit, and there's no penalty on the play. 11:20 to go in regulation. Dayton 4, Akron 2. Opening game of the Flyers' 21-22 season. Puck stolen away, shot, save, rebound, shot, save, rebound, Barola. And Barola ridden into the boards. DeMarco centers, it's loose. Another shot, Johnson down, puck still loose. As several players stack up in front of the Zip net, and now a whistle. And now who's heading off? It will be a Zip. Evan Asino. Evan Asino. That's the charge. Traveling. No, charge. So. Yeah, that charge. Or is that illegal procedure or false start? Wrong sport. Here come the Flyers on a power play chance. Hushcroft. Shot, save, rebound, loose in front, and another pad save by Johnson. Now here's Phillips' shot, blocked in front. Another shot, Johnson the save, and he holds on. Chase Johnson has been busy here in the third period. A minute 31 left in the Dayton power play. From the draw, one-time shot blocked in front. Centering pass is behind the Flyers' McClemus. Back for Dayton to pick it up is Rocky Phillips. Phillips trying to start out. He shakes off a check, slides the puck to center. Zips dump back in. Phillips is able to check Wilson of Akron. Flyers trying to come back. Through the defense, a shot! He scores! What a play! 5-2 Dayton. What stick work by the Flyers' Charlie Hushcroft as he split the defense, stick handled through a couple of potential checks, flips it up over Johnson. Power play goal for Hushcroft. And that goal coming at 10:23 of the third period, and the Flyers now rebuild their 3-goal lead now at 5-2. There's a shot that's wide of the Akron goal. Zips trying to come back. Ellis centers. It's broken up and cleared. Icing waved off. Johnson feeds it over for teammate Jake Lubick. Lubick will slip it in behind the Dayton net. Jurgic redirects it to the corner. Flyers trying to start out. Check into the boards. Hey, anything the Zips have played a very physical game today. And that probably will explain some of the penalties. They've had a lot of roughing penalties. Now whistle. Boy, it's been nice to see all the students come out on this first game of the season on a Saturday night. Now what do we got? We got a hook. That'll be on young Mr. Bobby Bradley of Dayton, hooking 2-minute minor. So Akron not going away. They have a chance to cut the lead again to 2. And from the draw in the Dayton zone, the Flyers clear. Johnson at the other end sends it over for teammate Jordan Campbell. Campbell checked. Loose puck. Manorino, he's checked. Campbell dumps it in the Dayton zone. Flyers empty it right back out. Well, we'll try to get some shot on goal stats before we leave this webcast. I think the Flyers have outshot the Zips by a pretty decent margin. There's a big check on McCarron of Akron. And the Flyers clear. Under a minute left in the power play chance for Akron. 7:10 left in the game. And now the Zips ice it. Again, an errant pass. That's a little bit sloppy play on behalf of the Zips. And you're killing time on your own power play when you accidentally ice the puck and have to have a face-off in your own end. And it's the first game of the year. There's a lot of kinks for all these teams to got nice hold in by the Flyers, DeMarco, and then has it taken away by Manorino. Carrying back in for Dayton, DeLeo. Shot, save, Johnson. Fresh legs on for Dayton. It's Aiden Ward and Moises Palacios on the ice with Spencer DeLeo and Matt DeMarco. Akron on a one-man power play for another 20 seconds. Centering pass intercepted and whistled down the ice by Matt DeMarco of Dayton. Back for the Zips, Jake Lubick. Lubick racing across center on left wing over the line. Pulls the trigger and it's off the side of the net. And I don't know if Jurgic may have gotten a glove on that one. Now for the Flyers, Aiden Ward. He's checked, shot on goal, stick save. Parried away by Jurgic for Hampina. Shot to center, back for the Zips. Evan Yaste. Centering pass for Ellis is between his skates and the Flyers are able to get it out of there. Penalty killed off. There's a big chance at a check that's swing and a miss. And back come the Zips the other way. Ellis fighting for it behind the Flyer net. Holding it in momentarily for Akron was Wilson, but poke checked away to center. 5:10 left in regulation. Dayton 5, Akron 2. For the Zips, Cam Wilson walking in front, and he is flattened by Trevor Barola. Big check as he rushes to the aid of goaltender Jurgic, with Wilson just walking right in front. And he flattens the Zip player, as he would have had a point-blank shot. Now for the Flyers is Liam McClemus. Back for Rocky Phillips. His shot off a stick wide. Here's McClemus again, trying to work backhand in front of the net, and loses his edge and hits the ice. 4 minutes to go. Puck shot up high into the Dayton zone and past the goal line for icing. Icing Akron, face off in their zone, 3:54 to go. You know, the Flyers, if they hold on to this one, they will already be way ahead of the game as far as their record, as opposed to a couple of years ago. They didn't get their second win until the last game of the season, and if they hang on here, they'll be able to equal that in their second game of the season. Moving in on right wing, shot! And that's wide of the mark, off the stick of Dayton's Ethan Macula. Flyers, Macula checked, back comes Akron's Jordan Campbell, shot, skate save by Jurgic. For the Zips, Thomas centers. It's off the stick of Ellis. He had Jurgic on his glove side, but he was unable to get a tip on that pass. Ellis again for Akron. Shot. He had teammate Jake Lubick moving in, but maybe didn't see him. He was moving in all alone on right wing. 2:40 to go. Shot on goal and played by Chase Johnson, with Flyer player Spencer DeLeo looking for his second goal of the game. Trying to get a tip on that shot, but Johnson controls the puck. Face off in the right wing circle of the Zip zone. From the draw, backhand shot is off a body wide. On the stick of Dayton's Bradley. This shot blocked. Now here come the Zips. Ellis the other way. Walking in. Shot. And he scores! Justin Ellis was able to fight off Moises Palacios, who was checking from behind. It looked like Jurgic was going to make the stop. He slid down, he got a piece of the puck, but it trickles into the net behind him. And Ellis has his second goal of the period and of the game. It's now 5-3. And that goal coming at 17:49 elapsed in period 3. Well, the Flyer student section singing "Na-na goodbye." Oh wait, there's a penalty on Dayton. What was that for? So now on top of the the Zips scoring, they also have a power play now. There's a big hit by the Flyers. Bishop knocking a couple of players down. And the Zips have a chance to get right back in this game, trailing by 2 on a power play. Nice hold in by Barola. Shot! And it's just wide of the elbow of the crossbar and goalposts. Flyers 5, Zips 3, a minute and a half to play. Except for about 11 seconds of that, the Zips are on a power play. And heading to the bench for the extra attacker is Chase Johnson, the goaltender. So it'll be 6 on 4, unless Johnson has to go back out due to a face-off. What do we got now? Timeout. So timeout, Zips. I just saw Chase Johnson, the Akron goaltender, pull his mask off as he headed to the bench for the timeout. He looks like a fatigued young man. And now, do we have another penalty? Do we have a hooking penalty? Or what? Timeout, Zips. What's another penalty on Dayton? Holy cats! My goodness gracious. Well, what do we got now? A penalty on Akron? I just saw the goaltender Chase Johnson go in the penalty box, unless he's heading to the bench or to the locker room. I don't know what's going on here. There's another penalty called on Dayton, a hooking minor, which will give the Zips a 2-man power play with 1:10 to play. But Chase Johnson, the goaltender, I guess they assume he will not be used for the rest of the game. Maybe he's headed into the penalty box area to head to the locker room. Maybe. Win it 5-3, and what do we got? Of course, a little bit of a scuffle. But then now the Flyers are in celebration mode. The Zips kind of mismanaged that last 2-man power play. They just did not, were not very aggressive, being down by 2 inside a minute. But what an effort by the Dayton Flyers in a very physical game as the two teams now shake hands at center ice. The Flyers winning over the Zips to open the season. The final score, Dayton 5 and Akron 3. We're going to try to get shot on goal figures. Hold on a second, folks. Okay, so I was able to ascertain the shots on goal from the scorer's table. Final shots on goal for the game. Dayton out shooting Akron 33-25. I thought it would be a little bit more one-sided than that even, but But very hearty effort by both teams. A lot of heavy hitting. There's a couple of guys posing for a picture down there even. That's big old Doran Olton of Akron and the Flyers Moises Palacios. I tell you what, for all the angst in this game, a lot of heavy hitting and several scuffles that broke out. You know what? In watching these two teams after the game, it looked like a lot of smiles and a lot of handshakes and a lot of backslapping. I think both sets of players are just glad to be back out there and playing. So they play very hard and rough and fast, and at the end of the day, after all that teeth gritting action and slugging and elbowing and pushing and everything, at the end of the day, these guys all look like they were just happy to be back out there. And there's applause around from the crowd, some good feelings at the end of this game. So it was an exciting game this afternoon. After one period, let's run down the scoring before we name the three stars of the game. In the first period, Aiden Ward opened the scoring for Dayton. At 14:49, this is all unofficial, on a power play goal. And then with just 7 seconds left in the first period, it was Dom Manarino, the Zips, tying the game, and that's where we stood 1-1 after one period. The second period was all Dayton, as first of all it was Spencer DeLeo at 6:47, and then it was Alex Pompina, power play goal at 9:56. Again, these times are all times elapsed into the period. And then either Palacios or Barola, and I think it was Palacios that got the credit on the goal, but that was at 13:46, if I can understand my scribbling. And so it was all Dayton after two periods, 4-1. But the Zips come back, and a power play goal by Justin Ellis, and then Ellis is scored with one L, E-L-E-S, and he scored a power play goal, pardon me, at 2:16 into the third. And then the Flyers, that made it 4-2. The Flyers rebuilt the 3-goal lead as Charlie Hushcroft, a nice power play goal at 10:23 to make it 5-2. But then young Mr. Ellis of Akron decided he wanted to score again. So at 17:49, he made a nice play to make it 5-3 and make it an exciting game in the last two plus minutes, because the Flyers incurred not one but two penalties in that last minute or two, and gave the Zips a two-man power play. And they're fortunate that the Zips weren't unable to capitalize, as the Flyers were able to close timeout, and time elapsed at the end of the third period with goaltender Jamie Jurgic making a save on a potential 4th goal of the game, but he stopped it, and therefore the final score again 5-3 Dayton. Again, shots on goal for the game, Dayton 33, Akron 25. Well, let's kind of calculate the 3 stars for the game. We are going to give, let's see, the number 3 star. Let's give that to goaltender Jamie Jurgic of Dayton, the winning goaltender. And then the 2 fellows that scored, let's give the 2nd star of the game to Spencer DeLeo. Let's give him the number 2 star, and the number 1 star of the game will go to Justin Ellis of Akron, as he scored the 2 goals for the game. Upcoming games here at the Kettering Ice Arena for the Flyers. Next home game will be on the 26th of September at 3 o'clock against the Miami Club Red Hawks. So that is a week from tomorrow, right? Sunday, a Sunday afternoon. So next Sunday afternoon. So a great start to the season for the Flyers as they skate off with a 1-0 record. Winning goaltender again today is Jamie Jurgic of Dayton. The losing goaltender, Chase Johnson, although Johnson pretty busy today. He played very well at times also. So that's going to wrap it up for our videographer, Jeff Duford. This is Kent Jacobs from the Kettering Ice Arena, reminding you again the final score today, the Dayton Flyers 5 and the Akron Zips 3. Until next Sunday afternoon, when we will be with you next, good afternoon from Kettering Ice Arena.